Hello, everyone, and welcome to SmashBoxxTV's podcast 233. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, along with Johnny V. And Johnny, I got to say, when we started this podcast, or when I started my disc golf career, I never thought I'd be bringing information live from the island of Koh Samui, Thailand. Well, in fact, I never knew it existed because, my geography is not very good. But how amazing. Great to be here.
I knew Thailand was a place. I didn't know that particular island.
Apparently, little knowledge that I think I've picked up. I think it's the second largest island of Thailand, and there's like 83 million islands or something like that, or 1,300 or 1,400. It's the second largest one, though. So pretty cool.
Okay.
So disc golf is here. It's thriving. There might be a few spots where I occasionally quiet down, believe it or not. Like literally 50 feet from me, they are teeing off. So on hole number 1, but I'm actually on the course here to be able to give you guys a little bit of an update. And we're going to check in with Nigel, who is the, we'll say the godfather of everything Samui disc golf. And we're going to check in with him in a little bit as well. So I got a couple guys teeing right now.
I don't think we've ever gone live from an actual tournament for the podcast. We've done live broadcasts. I don't think we've ever been live for a podcast tournament. I don't know.
Probably not. So everyone knows it is 10 a.m. local time here is what's happening. I completely got my hours mixed up. Last night when I went to bed, I thought I'd actually get a few extra hours of sleep and I wouldn't have to be out here until 8 a.m. Well, instead of 13-hour difference, I made it an 11-hour difference. And so believe it or not, we're actually ready a little bit earlier today. So good to be here either way. Yeah, apparently it's still 9 o'clock where you are, though.
Yeah, it was pretty funny, me eating dinner tonight, and then Terry, like, all hot and bothered. Oh, hey, I got to get out. Let's do this. Let's do that. I'm like, we got like 2 hours. What's your problem, dude? So, yeah, we got this going.
There is something wrong or magical about this trip when I'm up before 7 a.m. And it's not because I pulled an all-nighter, and I by 7:15 a.m. I'd already had a dip in a pool. I'm not much of a pool or water guy generally, but when in Thailand, I guess these are the things that happen. Now, 7 a.m. Another day this week, because I'm up from still the night before. That's also likely or possible, but nonetheless, it's awesome to be here. To quickly recap, Thursday night, myself, Johnny Rumble, along with Gary to the O, we all drove down to Chicago. We flew out of O'Hare about 12:30 or so a.m. We ended up in nearly a 15-hour flight that brought us over to Taiwan, which was in Taipei. We had a brief layover there, then hopped on another 5-hour flight, and that brought us into Bangkok. So we arrived in Bangkok at around noon or so on Saturday, and then we spent all day Saturday and Sunday in Bangkok, and then by 8 a.m. on Monday, we took a couple of flights and then arrived here on the island. So been here now for a couple days, and I have not died on a scooter or been in an accident yet.
And that would be pretty common?
So I'm pretty much winning.
That would be pretty common for that to happen?
I think the statistic that I heard was that an average of 2 people per day die in a scooter accident. Yeah. So now, to be fair, I'm not sure how all those numbers are always calculated, but to be fair, it's also not uncommon to see 1 or 2 or 3 family members, sometimes even 4 family members, all on a single scooter, and 1 or 2 of them may be under the age of 1 or 2 even. So, like, it's the major mode of transportation here, and I'm not trying to paint a morbid picture or anything, but needless to say, hashtag scooter life is in full effect here, and they can go pretty fast. We took a trip around the island yesterday, and they can move pretty quickly when you're trying to buzz around. You can also run into a lot of people very quickly too.
I have nowhere to go with that at that point. I mean, that is yeah, that's amazing.
So what we're seeing directly behind me, some of you have seen, please go out and like Samui Disc Golf, help support what they have going on here. Obviously, this is an amazing place to be as my microphone blows over. Amazing place to be, but you commonly see, I don't know, my fingers are way off here. This is tough to do. If I get out of the way, there, yeah, right there is where you see the podium. And that podium is what people are constantly stepping onto every week. They have a weekly league out here, and then I think it's commonly doubles. And then you get to stand up on the podium and actually make it part of the entire experience. So 11 holes, private property. I'm guessing there's maybe 15 or so acres out here. I haven't asked that, but 22 acres, thanks to Danny. 22 acres out here, and just a really fun course to play. There's a single par 4 at 626 feet or 656 feet, and then there's a couple 200 footers, a couple 300 footers. So there's actually a really great mixture of holes out here, but it overall does range a little bit on the short side. So people are practicing, getting warmed up, and playing because there's going to be an afternoon flight once the morning flight comes off the course. And right now on the course, there's MA40s, MA50s, MA60s are all out there now. So MA1 and MA2 will be out there this afternoon.
And that's when you're going to play, correct?
Yes. So there's a couple of crazy firsts going on this week. For starters, I guess it's not too much of a first, but I'm going to play advanced. My rating has, I would like to think my rating has been the inverse of my media involvement. So as that's gone up, my rating has gone the opposite way. But so my rating makes me eligible actually to play advanced. Normally I'd love to play Pro Masters as I became supposedly eligible for that last year. But I'm going to play advanced. That was really my only way to say that I was in Thailand and still got to play competitive golf. So I'm going to be competing in advanced the 2 afternoons, today and tomorrow. I'll be in the advanced division thanks to the pros playing AM variation of the PDGA, which honestly is kind of, I'd like to think I depict the perfect scenario. I don't play hardly ever. I play a couple rounds a year. My rating has clearly dipped. I don't practice. I don't really care about practicing, but I still want to come out and play in tournaments. And so rather than me getting destroyed in the open division and not probably having a lot of fun doing it, I can still be mildly competitive among the advanced division. So I feel like it's and it obviously sounds biased, but I feel like my situation is one that they were trying to go for when making that rule a number of years ago. So I'm pretty excited, actually. I didn't practice much, but I'm excited to play.
No, I'm 100% with you. This week in Wisconsin, it seems like tournaments are opening up and starting for registration. I have signed up for 2 events now, the Prairie Open and the Standing Rocks Open. And I signed up in Advanced Masters, which I'm a 912 rated player right now. Like you, my rating, it didn't have to dip quite as far as yours, but the more media, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I'm excited. If I play well at these 2 events, I might actually go up to Open Master at some point. I don't know.
Then maybe you and I can play together somewhere, sometime, when we're not doing other stuff.
Sure. Yeah, that I don't see that happening anytime soon.
All right, I'm going to see if I can actually pull up the chat board, which I have not. It's so weird not actually pay attention to it as I'm pulling it up here on the side. Yeah, my rating is now like 948 or 950 or something like that. It's somewhere in that neighborhood. Quite the plummet from my glory days of 995, but oh well. So real quick side note, in other news, due to this event, due to this unbelievable experience and opportunity, I am going to break the single longest streak that I've had. I know I just featured Michael Wright last week, playing 5+ consecutive years, 1,949 days in a row. So that's a pretty impressive streak. My not quite as impressive streak is every year since 1996, I have competed in the local Milwaukee doubles ice bowl style tournament. Since 1996, I was in high school. We got in a car accident on the way to the tournament the day before the event. So I've been playing that event. I've played it with the same partner, Mike Schwieger, who turns Masters age this year. I've been playing with him for the last 17 or so years. And so big hug, big shout out to my boy Mike Schwieger, who was very gracious when I had to end that streak to be here this weekend of 20, 22, 23, 24 consecutive years of playing in a tournament, a single tournament. And so I appreciate Mike's understanding, and it's bittersweet. I feel like if I'm going to miss one of the biggest winter tournaments that I've attended consecutively throughout my entire career, if I'm going to miss it, to come to Thailand to be part of this event, I guess it's fitting. I'm not missing it because I had the flu again like last week. So anyway, it's pretty crazy.
Well, if you
and
were
you're not
here,
playing, Johnny, why not? Why aren't you going out there this weekend?
I'm actually going up north to my wife's in-laws because there is her birthday's coming up and it's the only time we're going to get to celebrate it, blah, blah, blah. But even if I was here, I'd have to strap on some ice skates because everything melted and now everything's going to freeze. We're getting sleet right now as I speak outside. It is going to be an icy, icy hellscape on that course. So take that for what it's worth. It's still a lot of fun. That's a great event. Even if I haven't played in it, I've been attending it almost every year as well, stopping in, saying hi, doing some work, chatting with people, whatever I can do.
Yeah, it's been a long journey. It's been an amazing event, and one that I've won a few times or been in the contention to win. I think I won it in advanced at one point. Actually took second in advanced with our buddy Kazi, and it's just been a staple. And so, like I said, bittersweet is the best possible way to explain it. And I can't say enough about Mike Schwieger because his long streak of playing almost 20 plus consecutive years in it as well comes to an end, and he graciously was okay with that. And if it doesn't conflict, I'll be back at the event next year. So either way. So in a little while, whenever I see him, we're going to catch up with Nigel, who is like I said, the godfather, the orchestrator of everything that's taking place here. I want to get a few words with him. I'm not going to keep him too long because, like I said, there's people playing. So I want to check in and get the scoop here for the Samui atmosphere and culture and what's going on here with disc golf. But then shortly after that, I'm gonna probably step aside. And I don't know, did you secure anyone else? Are we gonna hear from the likes of a Dana or a Yuli later, maybe?
Nope, I told Dana don't bother.
Okay, don't bother. I hear you. All right. As I was looking at the board too, sorry, it sounds like there might be a little bit of reverb. I'm not sure. Some people are getting it, some people aren't. We're definitely on kind of a more than usual makeshift situation here today, as I'm again on an island off of Thailand. So one of the things in the news, Johnny, that broke, I think, while I was sleeping, is we did see the second part of the Disc Golf Pro Tour media plan that was released today. What did we learn from that? Was there anything in there?
Yeah, yes. I mean, there was a few things that we learned. I'll kind of rattle off some of the things that I found unique. First and foremost, they didn't announce any actual players, or I'm sorry, any actual staff. But they did say they're going to have an audio engineer, they're going to have a technical director, they're going to do live and post-production. They're looking for commentators from world champions. They kind of laid out some of their professional equipment. There have been some behind-the-scenes talk and stuff like that of some of the people that might be doing this and that, but ultimately they also announced what they call the media plan for external media that want to come and show up. Basically, if you register or sign up as a media company to cover third or fourth or fifth card, you get to pick your card, so to speak. You get two of the four players. You get to choose two players. There is a fan vote, and then on top of that, there is a sponsor's pick. So let's say you're covering third card. Jomez wants to show up in there, whoever. They can say, I want AJ Risley and Zach Melton on my card. Awesome. They'll do a fan vote for the other person, and then on top of that, they will have a sponsor be able to pick.
Okay. Well, that's interesting because that might open up a couple of unique opportunities for, say, first round. Obviously, that's as far as that's going to go. If you're out there covering a third featured card or a fourth featured card or whatever, that can be assembled for the first round, and then after that, everyone gets resorted. So if you're a super big fan of Devin Owens and you're ultimately covering him during the first round, obviously wherever he shakes out, you may or may not see him again. He may move up from into the top card or two, or he may move down or whatever. But at least for that first round, it creates a really cool opportunity to get direct input of who you're going to see as a recorder. And maybe there's some sponsorship opportunities there. Maybe someone says, "Hey, I'm the #1 fan of Devin Owens. I'd like to support the Disc Golf Guys coverage of Devin Owens or whomever that first round." And then maybe that's something I could actually orchestrate with the Disc Golf Pro Tour if that's an event I'm going to be at. So, yeah, that's an idea. There's something possibly there. Nothing. Fair to say that there was nothing groundbreaking or earth-shattering. And then part B to that is, did we expect anything groundbreaking or earth-shattering?
No, I didn't. We talked about it last week. I said I don't know what they could have come out with that would have shaken people or said, "Oh my God, I can't believe they're going to be doing this." We kind of knew with the first half of the media plan what the plan was for coverage. We have, like I said, we've got them covering MPO and FPO live, using that footage to create post-production. They've got an MPO2 card, in theory, all set up as well, is what they say. And now they're allowing people to come in for MPO3. Again, looking at some of the equipment that they're using, I have some petty qualms about it, but that is just little things.
Like stuff that would matter to you maybe more than anyone else, right? Is that a fair way to put it?
100%. Like, looking at what they have is, they're going with a different setup than us. We use the Pterodex. It looks like they're going with a live view production, which to me personally, I'm not a big fan of, just because I think the Pterodex stuff is brand new. It's come out within the last year. The live view stuff is 4 years old that they're probably using, unless they're renting equipment, which would be really dumb, because if you're renting equipment, you're going to be paying every week or every event. If you buy the equipment that they buy doesn't support some of the newer codecs for the computer nerds out there, the HEVC, which will give you a better quality picture with a lower bandwidth. They'll still be able to get the 1080p 60 that they're talking about, but it's going to cost them twice as much in data.
Okay.
It's little things like that.
Well, don't give away all our secrets then of what we're going to do when we're live.
I would hope they already have the stuff bought.
Yeah. Okay. Well, and again, what matters to you is going to may never be seen or noticed by the viewer or by, someone that's maybe more familiar with another set of equipment. So when you analyze some of that stuff from afar, because who knows what you're going to, ultimately know or see when it's all said and done, those are all very specific. And, somebody may come in and say, "Hey, I know this equipment and this setup very well." And it just might be a comfort level that that's why they're going with a slightly different, setup. But either way, expect to see first card of MPO, first card of FPO, both live. And then was that part of the plan? Did we see MPO2? Because I know that was talked about at one point at the summit last October, but I'd like to know if we're going to see MPO2 live as well.
I believe what was said was they would be able to roll off somebody for MPO2 if the coverage requires it. Meaning if somebody on the second card is making a run at the lead, they will probably either pull in an additional cameraman with their equipment or do what we did at Worlds and roll off one of our cameramen and go to 2 cards of single camera coverage.
Okay. And Ryan Pilcher's on the board saying MPO2 will be next day. So yeah, there'll probably still be a main focus on MPO1 with, like you said, maybe a unique situation where rolling off, having one of the cameras presumably head over to MPO2 we'll see if that ends up ultimately being, that's going to be a case-by-case basis more than anything. The question is, just like anytime we talked to Steve last year, when there is a hot hand on that second card or third card or wherever, and Wysocki is 10 down through 10 and Macbeth is 12 down through 13, do you pull those cards, that camera, one of those cameras, to go cover that? And then what does that mean? Because that just it kind of takes a setup and then throws it through a tumbler and is like, well, here, let's hope it all shakes out. And as we all know, it's just very challenging to do.
Yeah, it does add, I mean, as I saw at Worlds, it does add a lot of complexity to a situation if you're not prepared for it, this and that. One of the, again, a lot of what they didn't talk about that people wanted to hear was who is going to be the people behind this. If you read the media production or their media plan, it said a lot of the things they said had with disc golf experience or with disc golf whatever. And I think what that's code for is a disc golfer that we know that has this experience. There's been rumors all sorts that PSP is going to be the main camera people. That's one of the big rumors. And one of the things that we kind of heard behind the scenes was that Danielle Charlier will be doing the technical production. She was running cards last year and doing things like that. I don't think she has any experience switching a show, but my understanding is she is going to be the one that will be doing a lot of that technical directing. So I'll be real interested to see how that works out in general. They did say they want world champions for their commentating duos, and that could be anyone from your Elaine King, Val and Nate, Climo, Avery, Sarah Stanhope, Dave
Greenwell.
Yeah, Dave Greenwell. Yeah, it doesn't have to be MPO and FPO champions. It can as well be masters. You could be looking at Barry Schultz.
No Spin Myers also. There's so many different people out there. We might see the resurgence of a crazy John Brooks. Obviously, he's got plenty of experience behind the mic as one of kind of the original, very early on broadcasters that we saw. So it would be cool to see a crazy John involved again. There's so many opportunities when you're talking about who you're going to assemble for a team, and going with that remote commentary provides all those opportunities. It expands. There's so much more it can go with. That's for sure.
Yeah, Ryan Belcher
maybe
says
even some amateur world champions. I mean, 1996's Buddy Steen. Come on.
95 Thor
I'd
Hollick?
like to, that was my first Am Worlds. I'd love to know what he's up to and have him behind the mic.
Yeah, 97 Thor Hollick?
98 Moose Lubeck from Wisconsin. I mean, come on, 99, pull it. You got it, Johnny. You were there.
Where was it?
You were there. It was Kansas City.
Rob Lee?
No. Let's just put it this way. Beth and Aaron Palm from Minnesota would give the shout out.
Oh, Shredder.
Tim Shredder. Yes, you're 99 world champion from the AM side. So, I mean, come on. No brainer. And Tim does some phenomenal artwork, by the way. Side story. So, awesome to see. A lot of people, I didn't get too hung up on that. I know a lot of people are asking about the who. Is Big Germ going to commentate along with Sexton? The big sexy. I'm not as concerned about all of that. Like, I know that they're going to go out, they're going to look for the best possible fit and have those people. And if they told you it was Elaine King and Ken Climo at the first event, that may not be who's going to be at the second event or the 10th event. I would assume they're going to have a little bit of a trial and error system where, they're going to try people who are going to be great, and then maybe some will pan out to be not so great. So you don't want to lock into any given team or combo right off the bat as well. I mean, I was always trying to find my way out of commentating. That's why I did poorly every week. It was, but on a serious note, we think about these world champions and we think about the knowledge and the experience that they have, but that doesn't always translate into being a great commentator. And will they have any other role besides just commentary? Will they just simply sit down and talk about what's on the screen? Or will there be other things they have to worry about outside of just talking. It'll be really interesting to see.
I'm excited.
So, yeah, and as Scott Williams has said, and none of this is new, and we won't rehash it too much further, but people like myself are going to be out doing a lot of different events, some pro tour events probably, some not, some national tours, some other B tiers and A tiers that are going to be going on. I think Central Coast has a very similar plan. We know that Jomez has a very similar plan. A lot of these crews all have been kind of prepping for what their 2019 is going to look like, in light of all of this going down over the last few months. There's going to be a ton of golf out there, more than normal, for everybody able to watch and consume, which is really great to see. And speaking of big events, another quick shout out, our boy Chris Rodriguez with the La Nina Open. He mentioned last week how registrations are pouring in for it. It's right in that West Coast swing. He's a big supporter of the show. And more importantly, a big supporter of women's disc golf. So I wanted to quickly get a shout out in there and say, please sign up for that event. He's selling baskets that he makes, El Guapo baskets, to raise money for it. And he just puts on a really, really amazing event. I'm hoping to be part of that, but he puts on a really big event and supporting women's disc golf. So please go out and check that out on that Northwest Coast swing. So. All right. Anything else in PDGA news besides, something you're probably not thinking? Anything that you've seen, though, that's jumped out at you from the PDGA side of things or other organized disc golf side of things?
I did see that the PDGA made an announcement that they are looking for rules committee members. It says here the PDGA is seeking up to 2 qualified volunteers to join the PDGA rules committee. Committee members are tasked with reviewing the official rules of disc golf and presenting suggested rules adjustments to the PDGA board of directors. So this is for all you people that like to whine and complain that when the rules come out that they used 4 instead of at, or my line was so, you're supposed to use by the line of the sun instead of. This is for all you people that think you have a good grasp on the rules and you would like to volunteer some time, to be honest. Please go ahead if you're interested. Contact dfoss at pdga.com. That's David Foss, and put your number out there. Let them know that you are interested in being a member of the rules committee. You can help mold the future rules of our sport.
So I'm sure obviously they're going to be, and maybe you just said it and cut out, but they'll be reviewing not just the rules. Ooh, a fruit smoothie is being made. Not just the rules, but then also the competition manual as well, which kind of accompanies the rules and helps further explain a few of the details from the competition side of things, in addition to the rules. So having more people look at that. Of course, they want bright individuals that can really challenge maybe even what the rules are and what they say right now, because we know that wording is so crucial when you see some of those things, because there may be a spot where it says, player must proceed, or player can proceed, or player will proceed, or should proceed. Those just little tiny details like that. Those are so crucial in what can be really big moments within tournaments. So as you said, if you're a rule stickler, or maybe even a linguist of sorts of really fine details when it comes to, I think of legalese, like I think of the way lawyers think and speak typically about every minute little detail as to how something is worded. Those are all the clarifications that need to be made when we're looking at the rules in the competition manual. Are you going to sign up, Johnny?
No.
Oh, okay. Looks like there's a call out for caddies. 1 second.
Yeah, as Terry's silent, one of the reasons I say I'm not going to volunteer is, one, I don't think I've got a mind for the rules committee. It's not really my forte. I did volunteer many, many years ago for the disciplinary committee, and I was on it. It was a good learning experience. I did it for, I think, 1.5 years, something along those lines. So that was a lot of fun. But ultimately, this is not my alley, because I just have it's not an interest of mine.
Yeah, and that's just it. You have to be, I think you have to be interested and have that mindset and mentality going into it. It's not something like, oh, maybe I'll just dabble in this. Like you need to be fully committed to it because you're going to make some really, really impactful changes potentially for what we're going to see on the rules moving forward. So pretty exciting opportunity. All right, I'm gonna pull Nigel. We're going to pull over Nigel. Him and I are going to hopefully share some space. Johnny, I think we're going to cut you loose so that Nigel and I can catch up. I don't know if we can. Yeah, there you go. Yeah. We'll get you in here. And then we'll come back to you in a little while after I get some details out of this guy. Sound good? All right, there it is.
All right.
Well, welcome, first of all.
Oh, thank you very much.
Here we are on the other side of the world, I am, and taking in action. We're at Samui Disc Golf, and I've been referring to you as kind of the godfather around here. Oh. Is that a pretty fair assessment?
Well, maybe I definitely started. I first came out here in 2004 to set up my first course, so definitely the first one out here in Thailand.
And so give us kind of a little bit of the background. How did you get here, or why did you come here, and why did you stay? What was this all part of the grand plan?
Well, it was pretty easy why I stayed. When I got here in 2003, I was just going to come for a quick holiday, fell in love with the place, went home after being here 3 months, went home, sold everything. But when I went home, I started playing disc golf at Huntington Beach. And then I played every day for 3 months, and I had this full-blown disc golf addiction. And I came out here and started looking at all the coconuts. I'm like, we got to put a course in. So that's how it started. And, rough learning all the ropes in the beginning. But as I've been here, I've learned more about Thai business and everything. And now it's running really smooth, and it's been great.
And so you also then, we all know, even in any corner of the country, no one's getting rich on disc golf yet. But so you've also then started and run a very successful catering barbecue business.
Sure.
Kind of explain your passion or your tie or your background there.
Well, I've always been into barbecues with my family and everything, and so I've always, when other things, I'd host parties and get into cooking for more people. The bigger the group, the more fun it was for me, the challenge, the rush and everything. And so now we're out here, we're cooking for 100+ people, and I have a big rig and everything. So it's a big passion of mine, and then I turned that into business, and I love disc golf, and now that's a business. So you're
doing it right. Yeah, let me just say, you're doing it right. The old adage of, if you do something you love, you never work a day in your life, that kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly.
And they also say the harder you work, the luckier you get. And I see how those can all kind of intertwine here when you're able to combine these passions and be on such a beautiful property. Danny, who, many of you guys have, called out for doing some amazing things in his own right. He was telling me, he corrected me earlier, we're on about 22 acres here.
No, 22 rye. So
I don't even know what a rye is.
Yeah, so a rye is a Thai unit of measurement. It's 40 square meters, so 40 by 40 meters. But almost a half a football field.
Okay, so do some other math.
So
what does that mean?
It's like 9.
Okay.
I think it's 10 acres. It's quite small, and that's why we're doing an 11-hole course.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want to squeeze 18 and have potential crossing, so let's just make the holes
the best we can with. Yeah. I like that.
I thought about doing 9, but then the 11 seemed to fit better, so that's why I went with the 11.
Perfect.
So.
Okay. So, and I don't remember what I said at the top of the show. If I was guessing 15 acres or whatever, but so to say it's 10 or so.
Yeah, it's all, most of the property is mature fruit trees.
Mm-hmm.
I think just in the small section we have 250 coconut trees.
Okay.
And plus probably another 750 back there, and then mangoes and rambutans, and so. All year long there's fresh fruit on all the trees, so it's a pretty good property. So.
We talk about natural hazards. I've seen snakes now, I've seen kangaroos on courses.
Right.
It's possible you could get knocked out by a coconut out on the course, or no?
I'm much more scared of a coconut than a snake.
Okay.
There's a lot more coconuts on the field, so what we do here is most Thai people will collect the coconuts every 6 months. They'll come and harvest them.
Okay.
And we harvest them about every 2 months.
Wow.
And then we just had people come out here two weeks ago and picked all the trees.
Okay.
So most won't fall. We've been here 6 years, knock on wood, or not knock on wood. No one's been hit by a coconut. So
Okay. Yeah. Let's hope nothing. Let's not make this the first.
Yeah.
So we're here on this beautiful island. I was mentioned earlier. I was in Bangkok for a couple of days.
Yeah.
This is the second largest island of Thailand.
Yes,
okay.
yeah.
And then there's, believe it or not, there's more than one course here. Even there's more people coming out to support disc golf.
Dave Lehman in the south runs the Lamb Store Disc Golf at Acoustic Cafe. It's a great course, right? It has 3 holes right on the ocean. A lot more elevation change than mine.
Sure.
It's a great place to come check out. You can come to this island and play 2 courses. I mean, that's
Yeah, and I was just gonna say, I think about some of the most developed and structured and organized areas and states and everywhere else, and you can't find 2 courses within 20 minutes, or 40 minutes or an hour of one another. But here, you're on this island in Thailand, and there's 2 different courses to play.
And
do you know of any others that are maybe or may not be in the works?
Well, so we have 2 more courses here in Thailand near the Cambodian border. One's in Komak. It's a very small island. It's a cool place. It's run by a Thai national, Pom. He has a holiday beach resort, and a great fun place to play. A lot of Thai nationals playing there. It's really pushing on that front, and it's great. And then there's a Finnish guy who opened a course in Koh Chang, and they're about a half-hour speed road ride between each other. So they're pretty close to each other too, and they run a tournament series in October.
Okay.
So we'll be out there in October as well.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So right now we're looking at 2 flights. We have an AM and a PM flight, and that's really all because of the growth. I mean, you guys have even split up. We're having all the amateur divisions are taking place today and tomorrow.
Yeah.
And then Friday, Saturday, Sunday on the pro side.
Right.
And you're running multiple flights. What have some of the logistics been for you, and how do you overcome that as you continue to grow? I mean, your first event here 6 years ago at 11
players,
people.
11 registered players.
I mean, that's like a super group almost in a sense, just one big group. And now here you have over 100.
Well, I understand why the PDJ wants you to start with a C tier, then goes to a B tier, because you're learning all along the way. And just to jump in on an A tier tournament, you just couldn't do it. And you have to learn what works for your property. I think there's a lot. I think TDs learn a lot, and it'd be good to learn more. I would like more resources for TDs to share, because the guidelines are pretty basic, and it would help to pool resources together, because it's a lot to learn.
It is. And quick, huge shout out also, the gentleman that first reached out to me, who I've known for 20 plus years, is Luke Butch.
Yeah.
And with him moving over to Thailand, I don't know, was it a decade ago already now, or
I think 2008, 2009.
Yeah, it's been a while. And he had reached out with me being involved, along with, of course, everything that you're organizing. He's handling some of the things. You handle some of the things. You definitely.
I definitely couldn't do this without Luke. Luke has been a great help. I met him. He came out here to Swine 2 and 4 years ago, and he's been very helpful since the beginning. He wants to push disc golf all over the place, and he's been in his contacts that he knows from playing disc golf. It's just been a tremendous help, and I couldn't do it without him, for sure.
Yeah. Well,
you can't do you can't run it by yourself. In the beginning, I wanted to do everything. I'll take care of it.
I got this.
I got no problem. I can do it. But now, please help me. And you use what you have, and you work together, and you have a more fun event. So
well, and speaking of working together and using what you have, a few nights ago, and I still have an Instagram or post or 2 to make, and you'll see it in the vlog. We went over to High Park.
Yeah.
And there were some of the photos and videos have been posted, but players actually had an opportunity to go down this giant water slide, and then there was a basket set up, and they were trying to make it into the basket, hence disc golf action.
Yeah.
What a cool opportunity, and here you are forging these relationships with people like High Park, but then also like tonight. Going over to the local Hooters, who I think has been a big supporter and sponsor.
Yeah, we do a monthly tournament series here, and they've been one of our sponsors, and they've helped us out. And I went and talked to them about our event, and they said, let's do a sports night here, and with pool tables and ping pong and darts and specials. So it's nice, everyone wants to hang out at the course and stuff, but to mix it up and go somewhere else and do something is always great, and then support our sponsors at the same time is.
And I say that all the time. I mean, it's I almost oversay it, but I don't. support those who support us. And what that means is when you come to town, whether it's international or even in your local town, you know, whether that's the Jimmy John's or it's the local sporting goods store or whatever it might be, even the gas station that you stop at right before you go into the course, stop there. And then I love to take that extra step and say, you know, of course you're supporting them by making the purchase, but then go ahead and say, oh, hey, by the way, I'm here from such and such place, you know, and I'm a disc golfer, so that they can always have that face-to-face tie.
It makes an impression. I talk to all my sponsors all the time, and I see them and I ask questions, and when a positive thing comes through, they let me know. You know, if it's something negative, hasn't been, I'm sure they would let me know.
Yes.
But it's good to come out, and where you spend your money is it does affect in places like this.
Absolutely.
There's a lot of small businesses. There's not so many big chains and stuff. So what you do does make an impact, and where you choose to go does. So
it certainly does. Yeah. And and again, whether that's stateside or international, whatever it might be. So I know you don't know all of the details. I'm guessing you don't know quite all of the details, but in other PDGA news that we kind of glossed over, there were just a couple of events in Malaysia and Singapore this last weekend. We'll get more details from some of those guys, but what do you know of that? How does that all make this? There's a tour here.
I have a personal connection with both of them. I talked to Lance, the TD for the Singapore Sling last year, and he wasn't sure he could. I was like, you should do a PDGA event, and he's like, well, we only have the traveler baskets. And I said, look, you're in Singapore. You know, international events are important, and if you want to organize it, you can do it. And I contacted him with Brian, and they got together and they made it happen. So and then he came up today and thanked me, and I said, man, thank you, because you're bringing more disc golf to the area. So, and then Malaysia's gone crazy. They've gotten 4 courses, and they started, I think, April last year.
Wow.
Yeah, and they had a big ultimate league, and they have a young base, and most of their players, I think, they're all nationals, and it's like 40 or so players. And I think big things are coming from Malaysia. It could be really big in a couple of years.
Yeah, well, and you know, some people have a mentality of like, oh, well, if this course is there and that course is somewhere else, there's competition among them. And it's really quite the opposite. People like myself, you know, maybe even next year, I love the idea of seeing all of these places, and then you're visiting each and every new opportunity, as opposed to saying, well, I'm going to go here but not there. You really want to take them all in, and I think that's part of it.
If you come out and like a touring pro, you can hit multiple events, but I think more disc golf in the area brings more players. It makes more players in the area get into it. More courses, the better. I would love 6 courses on this island, or anywhere in Thailand. You know, it only grows the sport. So.
Well, so talking about players, I think I threw out a number already. Maybe you can clarify. How many different countries represented here this weekend?
So registered players in the PDGA event, there's 20 different countries registered.
Wow.
Now there's actually more, because a lot of players are like, there's a few English guys, but they're not registered in England.
Okay.
So if you to go through, it'd be even more. But yeah, we have 20 registered countries.
20 registered companies, and I'd have to think I've been, I don't know, to 30 some world championships between AMs and pros, and I would have to go do some research to see if there's been that much representation at a world championship. So what a cool, unique experience. And then even our friends over at Eagles Wings are in Zambia still doing work, you know, in Africa. And I know John Lutzau, Roundhouse from Wisconsin, he's over, you know, helping out Johannes in Africa. I mean, you want to talk about, you know, not only growing the sport, but just the global globalization, I guess, maybe even is tremendous.
We have a player here who learned here, who is now opening a course in the DRC, in the Congo. So on a private company course, but they got 9 baskets in now, and they're putting in tee pads and everything. And so we being a destination spot like we are, I get a lot of tourists coming who've never heard of disc golf. They only find us on TripAdvisor.
Yep.
just go, oh, I guess we'll try that out. The reviews look good. They walk in. First, they normally think I made up the sport.
Yeah, of course. Like, this is all my idea.
But they come out and they try it, and then I ask what country they're from, and I'm like, oh, I have a list of all the courses in all the countries from Discourse Review, and I say, oh, you got 46 courses over there, and they're like, what?
What? And then you're like, yeah, there's one 3 miles from you, and they're like, what?
Yeah.
Oh, that's what those things are. You know, I always thought those were grills or something.
And I've had people then go home, play. And then a year later, when they come back again for a holiday, they come in and play, and they're really into it, and now they're buying all the discs and they're taking them all home.
That's awesome.
So,
and clearly not quite on the scale, but that's how I feel about one of my favorite places in northern Wisconsin. They're a resort, Sandy Point Resort. I talk about them all the time.
Right.
But they're a resort, and people come up there just to do resort type things.
Right.
But they have 27 holes on their private property, and the thousands of people that they've introduced to disc golf in that exact same way. It's like they travel back somewhere in Wisconsin or Minnesota and Illinois,
and they start looking.
And next thing you know, they're looking and they're totally hooked on it. So very similar.
It's a cool way to introduce people. So we're always looking to have new people come out and have a good time. We set short holes for groups and stuff, and they have a. But they'll see, like, our hole one is a very short hole. It's only 150 feet. But you get a new person, a new person who's never played, and they get to that hole and they're like, we're throwing to there?
Yeah.
Like, they're thinking 150 feet is some
it's like
unbelievable throw, And but then, after they get through the 9, they go back to hole 1 and hey, they're getting pretty
not
close.
so bad, pretty easy,
for
sure.
Yeah.
So speaking of players and talent locally, there is a woman that I think everybody's got their eyes on.
Yeah.
Because she is, first of all, she's rated 936.
Yeah.
And second of all, if she's not done beating you, or if she doesn't beat you on the course, she could pretty much beat you up.
Oh yeah.
What's the story?
Oh, she was a Muay Thai fighter. So
a Muay Thai fighter.
She's got good kicks. You got to watch out. She's very competitive. Her name's View. She started here, and both her and her boyfriend at the time weren't that good, but she wanted to beat him, and so they get better, then he gets better, then she gets better, and now like she's throwing well over 300 all the time, 350, maybe up to 400.
Okay.
Not all the time, but on some throws, and you'll see this week. She has great form, great technique. She's barely 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And she gets all into it. She's a fantastic player. You're gonna enjoy watching her play. So.
Well, it's and now there's actually been a few rumors swirling around, maybe I made them up, but that is she gonna be, do you know if she's gonna be playing more internationally? Is she gonna go
this
come to the
year
States,
she got sponsored by Prodigy.
Okay.
And they're gonna do a European tour, I believe 2 months between Finland and Estonia. They might be going to a couple other locations. I know they're signed up for Toonie. So yeah, she's going to make her first appearance on the world stage, and being that she's come from here, we're super proud, and we can't wait to see her compete. That's going to be a big deal for us.
And to be fair, I had to ask you so many of these questions because when I saw her, she ran off the other way. I know I'm intimidating and all, but she is shy right now. But if she's that good, she's going to have to get used to talking on camera in front of people, because she's going to be accepting the words.
We've told her, so she's getting ready. But she can be shy, but she's not shy when she gets on the tee.
No, okay. And her name is View
Giorgio. I think I'm saying that right.
Yeah, okay. View Giorgio. And again, already rated 936, which has probably been relatively tough to get, an established rating and one that's that good when there's not a lot of our.
Well, we had 11 events here this year. Okay. And then she's gone to, I think, 6 or 7 other events outside the island. Okay. And then we also run weekly leagues here. So we had 38 weeks of PDGA League. Awesome. So we get a lot of rated rounds, but she won. So she'll play in the NPO in our monthlies. Okay. We have a lot of like 940 players or so locally that will play because we do a trophy only award, 400 baht, which is about $12, includes barbecue, and we do trophies, and we get all our vouchers from our sponsors.
Get up on the famous podium.
Oh, yeah, get on the podium, and then so she's been able to compete, and she beat 2 of the guys in the deeper fields of the year. So awesome. So she came out and she beat some higher rated players, and it was great to watch. So on this course, she'll kill you. Yeah. Well, I can't wait to see her get on some big courses out there, but on this one, you want to have her as a doubles partner.
I believe that. Well, we're excited to see how that unfolds throughout the weekend. What was the final count on number of participants? Did we push 102, did I hear, or am I making that up? I make up a lot of stuff.
We're over 100 for sure. Okay. Some people are playing in both events, so I think we're about like 105, 108 unique players. Awesome. But I think overall, that's like about 120 because some people are playing
Playing in both. Yeah,
right.
that's awesome. All right.
If you're on holiday, might as well. You're
Yeah.
here,
Well,
so.
and someone like myself, if I were just simply here on holiday, and not doing the work I'm going to be doing, I talked about it earlier in the show. My rating is at a point where I could, in theory, play advanced, and get in 2 days of competition, and then go play a pro or a pro masters, a couple days later. So there's some, great opportunities for people to be able to do stuff like that if you want to challenge yourself.
We're having a lot of people do that. So,
and play a lot of golf. Yeah, exactly.
It's pretty hot here, so one round a day is preferred.
Yes.
I know people like some marathon golf, but when it gets hot, you're happy to have one round and relax and enjoy your holidays. So.
Well, and so quickly to touch on that, it had one of the famous lines, at least I know we've used in Wisconsin and very applicable here. It doesn't feel like it's so much the heat as it is the humidity.
Oh yeah.
Right. So it's the humidity that, you take a shower or you get out of the pool or whatever, and it 15 or 20 minutes later, it kind of feels like you need another shower.
Yes. Bring your dry bag, sports sack or whatever resin bag.
Yep.
They're handy out here. Yeah. It will get warmer. And the hottest time of the year for anyone traveling out here is mid-March to mid-May.
Okay.
That's the hot season.
Okay. I don't want to come back for that then.
But we have a huge water fight. In Thailand, the whole country has a water fight, and it's for about 3 days, April 13th, 14th, and 15th. And
that's awesome.
It's amazing. You'll get waterlogged from the water.
Wow.
The whole country goes crazy. It's a fun event.
And speaking of countries going crazy, another part of being here on this side of the globe, as I experienced a little bit in Bangkok the other night, and then last night locally, Chinese New Year.
Oh, it's a big thing.
I mean, I've always heard about it. I have friends that do a lot of international business, and I've always kind of heard about Chinese New Year. But to be here, this much closer, of course, and to see just how elaborate everything is, down the road, and unfortunately I missed it last night, a major celebration taking place. So everywhere you go, there's celebrating going on for Chinese New Year.
Yeah, it's one of the reasons why I picked this week. Normally I usually do the weekend of the Super Bowl. But this year with Chinese New Year landing where it did, I knew a lot of people in Asia would be able to get time off to come. So we have players from Vietnam, from South Korea. We have Singapore and Malaysia. So all these guys were able to get the time off because they're headed off. So it works well for them, and it's been great. So
awesome. Well, I said it earlier in the show, and this isn't a guilt trip. For the first time in like 24 or 25 years, I am missing a winter tournament. I've played it every year since 1996, and it's taking place this weekend.
Right.
So I had to give a big hug to my buddy, my doubles partner, who I usually play with. So for the first time since 96, I'm going to be missing that tournament, and it's coming up this weekend. But
if you're going to miss it, this is a good way to miss
what I
it.
said.
Yeah.
This is bittersweet, and to come here and to experience this. So next year, I'm going to look at the schedule. We'll see how those all line up. Maybe I'll be able to do both. But nonetheless, is there anything else you want to share with the world? Anything to say? Let's quickly shout out Dynamic Disc, presenting sponsor.
Definitely.
And next year
we have plans that we want to announce, but I want to lock that stuff down before I go public with it.
Well, what is public though is at the end of this weekend, if you bought a disc on Dynamic Disc site,
yes,
you actually are then essentially bought a raffle ticket. In addition to the disc, you get a raffle ticket that is going to give someone
a free flight to Thailand next year for the tournament season. Wow. So they might still be available if you get it. If you get them 1 day ship, you can put it in, and we're drawing, I think, on the 9th.
Okay.
Which would be the 8th in America.
Yes. Okay.
Because we're in the future here.
We totally are.
It's a day ahead.
To follow other first, I never thought I would be flying over some country on a Monday morning while the Super Bowl is happening. Like when I had to to watch the Super Bowl, so to speak, from my phone from another country.
Right.
Apparently I didn't miss much. I clearly, so again, no big deal there.
Well, last year was a big one, so then they sizzled out this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So
Dynamic Disc, presenting sponsor this year, obviously helping out for next year, it looks like already. And how did that involvement come about? And
well, once again, Luke with his contacts knew some people, and we knew we wanted to try to get a big sponsor, and then we started talking, and Luke with his connections. We thought Dynamic would work really well,
Awesome.
and they've been great with us. When we've had to order a disc in the past, they've been super fast. They've helped us out a lot. I've had nothing but great things as far as customer service from them. They've been really good to me, and it's hard getting discs all the way to Asia, so they've been a great help.
Awesome. Yeah, and that's something I learned in Australia a few months ago. Like, there's so much I take for granted, knowing that I can personally call up a Dynamic Disc or an Innova, and so many of our great manufacturers, I can call them, get an order in, and literally 2 days later, they're at my house.
Right.
And you guys have a lot more to worry about.
I start planning in October. I'm getting artwork all ready to go, and I want it all lined up so I can get it to people, so you get to hear, because you don't want any hiccups, So
No.
the early you start, I already have plans of what I can do for next year. Every year I make a list of what I could do to improve, and you got to keep track, because next year you're like, okay, I'm knocking this out. So,
nice. Yeah. Well, and Johnny, I know you're listening. We'll be back in a sec, but just so you know, Johnny, I already committed us to purchasing a feather banner flag for SmashBoxxTV to be proudly displayed out here at the course year round.
Yep.
SmashBox is going to purchase one, and then the disc golf guy is going to purchase one as well. So we're just honored to have any part of being out here.
Hey, we appreciate
experience.
the support, and we'll definitely be flying those with pride.
That's awesome. All right. Anything else you want to say before I let you go?
No, thanks so much, and I'm really happy you're here, and I can't wait to see the rest of the week develop.
All right, well, we're looking forward to it. This is Nigel. We're going to let him get back to it. He's a very busy man, keeping all this chaos organized as we're here for Samui Disc Golf. I got my new Samui Disc Golf hat. You're going to have to order more of those, because I think people are going to be, I'm going to need more, I'm sure, and we're going to have to get more of those out there. Great things. Make sure you come visit. You're going to see a ton of video that I'm going to be putting out, and looking forward to big things here in Samui. All right, pal. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Great.
Take care.
Yep.
All right. Again, Nigel. So, Johnny, that's what you get here, and then some. I mean, obviously, I'm just a couple days into this, and I feel like my experience is just beginning. 2 days in Bangkok, coming here, riding a scooter, not dying yet. It's no coconuts and no scooter accidents. I'm definitely winning so far.
A feather banner? You committed us to an entire feather banner?
An entire feather banner. Yep, one that will be displayed on the course year round. He said that he would get it, designed and organized and get it ordered and get it to me. And I said, no, I want to leave it here so that it can be up permanently on the course. And super excited to do that.
That's awesome. I'm down 100% with that. As long as next year I get to come see it.
You might be a little too tall for stuff here. So just saying. Real quickly, as I see on the board, also, we have kind of your usuals, and I'll admit I already have an interview with Philo that'll get released on my channel. He was out here doing a clinic yesterday. There was like literally a couple dozen people out here partaking. So right after that, I got an interview with him, and we have Devin, Owens, and Nikola, Castro. Those guys are like regulars here at this event, partaking, enjoying it, taking it all in. And I'm going to continue to talk to them throughout the weekend and have them further expand on their experience coming in as the international pro and the superstars that they are, and everything that they have to offer, what they gain, and then what they leave behind when they come to events like this. And as I asked a Philo yesterday, why aren't more people here? And he said, well, I think there's been schedule or whatever other reasons, but I think he's right when he says that's going to change. I mean, you can only hear so many good things about so many places before finally you're like, all right, I have to go check this out for myself. And that's exactly what's happening here in Samui.
Yes. Yes.
On the board, it says, what is the name? The name of the event this year is the Samui Swine Classic 6th year, the Hogfather. I don't know if then that's an immediate tie to either his barbecue catering business or if that's a tie to the fact that this is the year of the pig for the Chinese New Year. So I'm getting myself cultured here. Let me tell you guys, the year of the pig. So whatever that means. All right. Yeah, maybe, Johnny, you go out and buy a disc. Maybe you can win yourself a trip here next year if they're still available out on Dynamic Discs. Just win it.
I'm going to have to check on that.
That's how, side note, that's how I won my second journey to Japan in 2010 after competing there in 2008. In 2010, I had no intention of going. And in a similar, we'll say, situation, it was Innova that called and said, oh, hey, oh, big putt. Innova had called and said, hey, you had bought a bunch of these fundraiser discs and you won the grand prize, free airfare. I was like, oh, okay, well, I guess I'll go back. So. And Scott on the board says he's got 3 of them, which is awesome. Good luck, Scott.
Good luck unless I buy some.
And
Scott.
last year was the Lord of the Swine, is what Nate from Australia is telling me. All right, Johnny, do you have anything else for me that you need me for?
I don't believe so. I think, I know you've got a lot of work to do there because you're going to be doing filming pretty soon. I know you've got a lot of prep work. You've got an event. You're actually going to start playing pretty soon. Going to get out there and do maybe throw a few practice shots.
Practice.
How many?
It's like there's a rant about practice. Who needs practice? Well, I do, but I'm not going to probably bother.
How many 15-footers are you going to airball?
At least a couple. I guarantee you. I will likely maybe park myself to 15 feet on a hole and then yank it wide right. That's. I'm good for a couple of those every once in a while. So
one around usually, I think.
One around. Who needs all of those strokes? I mean, really. So yeah, pretty crazy. You see, things are picking up again. You've got the pros, or not the pros, sorry, the MA1s and MA2s are kind of filtering into the course right now. And then there's people out there playing 2 rounds of 11, a full 22 holes. That's your day. And then you come back the next day and do it again. On the pro side, however, just so you guys are aware for the videos, on the pro side, it's going to be 3 rounds of 22. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday is when you're going to see the pro side, what you'll see on the pro side. Real quick, one of the last things I'm going to talk about that's overdue, and I'm not going to throw Paul Ulibarri under the bus again, but we do have some commentary that's been laid onto Nantucket's footage. I don't want to mention that it's been edited since September, but now we have some commentary. I'm gonna keep it a secret that it's not Paul Ulibarri. But we've got a couple players that were there, a couple outstanding individuals that you've heard on microphones before, so they're experienced. I think they're not world champions, but they are experienced. So tomorrow, whatever day it is now, I don't know, but sometime in the next 12 to 24 hours, round 1 of the 2018 Nantucket Open is going to be released. We're going to have some prizes and giveaways for likes and shares, all of that fun stuff. And then round 2 will be released shortly thereafter, within 12 to 24 hours of that. And then skins and the Raz round are also either ready or near ready to go, just waiting commentary stuff. So that's what you're going to see. I wanted to put it out there finally. Thank you. Please watch. I think you're going to enjoy it. We're still in a little bit of a lull as we're moving into, big time tournament coverage in the next upcoming weeks. So this will help carry you over some of the best in the world, one of the best courses out there. Great payout, great event, great host. So Nantucket Open is coming. So again, not calling out people like Paul Ulibarri for flaking on me multiple times. So anyway, I think that can only get more chaotic. So I'm going to read a few comments on the board. I know I usually do that in the after show, but I'm going to read a few comments on the board to answer any questions that people might have. And then I'm going to cut loose and let you do whatever else you may need to do, Johnny. Tim asks a very legitimate question. Since you are filming in the future, do we get same-day coverage in the States? I will say this. It won't be immediate, but I want to thank Luke, who reached out to me about filming here. He said, I want you to experience Thailand. I don't want you up editing all night long to try and get it out for the very next day. I want you to be able to experience Thailand. So I'm going to have a little mix of that. I want to experience it, but I do want to get started on it right away as well. And we're going to look for a very quick turnaround. This too, I would maybe love to see out before the first round of even the wintertime comes out, because you go right from wintertime, right to Vegas, right to Memorial. So I'd either like to beat that rush or maybe go the week after the Memorial, one of the two. But tons of content to bring at you guys. Man, a couple guys got really loud. Terry, don't run at hole 3, just lay up, not worth it. Hole 3 is the par 4 that's out here. Yeah, I think hole 3 is the par 4. And I said in the one practice round I had, I said I'm okay with taking a 4 there. It's a very demanding hole. OB right, OB left, shaping from left to right dog leg, par 4 with I think OB behind it as well. I just don't want to take a 5. 3 would be gravy. 4 would be fine. Just don't take a bogey. George from Croatia. All right. Yuli is putting great. What about Terry and insert a pro here?
I think they're talking about commentary.
I mean, oh, yeah. It doesn't sound like I'll have any commentary role if you're depending. Are you talking about this event? Because that might be possible. Also, on a quick side note, Brian Honegger, Guru, who knows more about international play than anyone else on the planet, he has offered to do the commentary. But again, it's going to come down to if that works time-wise, depending on when we get the rough edits put together. TJ says, love the idea of the new formats you talked about with Simon. You're going to continue to see, more vlog-style approaches by on my video blogs, that's for sure. Ace Run says, good evening. How you doing? And Mike says the Simon and Terry video is great. Thank you. As many of you saw, Simon released a vlog. We talked about it last week. He also released an updated vlog or an additional vlog talking about the actual event he was here for, because he didn't do a lot of filming with me or after him and I parted ways. And he went out and talked quite a bit about the experience of being at the indoor outing that was had there and everything that was going on with it. There's a video included in there. It's great. So go check that out. Very cool. Disc golf interview master guy. Isn't 3 the island? Oh, maybe 3 is the island hole. Oh, come on. It's like 250 feet. I'm running at that all day. Sorry, I was thinking of the par 4. Yeah, I'm going for 3 all day. Nice hat. Thank you. I love it. Nantucket, when will you give a shout out to Kevin Derrick for winning MPO in the Ethiopian Open? I think right now. Thank you for the assist there, Ryan. Shout out to Kevin Derrick. Johnny can review. That's a great thing for Johnny to do. I think he might be able to go back and review some of the PDGA happenings once I log off here. All these internationals are getting rowdy now. Simon is cool. Philo, I caught up with him. That was not Philo. Some of you saw in the background. I believe that was Jesse. I had dinner with him, or at least we shared a table, and I believe that was Jesse earlier. Some of you were asking if that was Philo. All right, it's getting louder, so Johnny, I'm going to cut you loose. I'm going to let you do your thing. Also, as Johnny can elaborate on, I'm sure he will, please go check out the new interview styles that he's doing with some of our players and the Reddit interviews that he's got. He's got a couple of them already out there. And go check those out as well. Johnny, are those Patreon exclusives at the moment or no?
No. If people want to go out there and search for SmashBoxxTV Unsanctioned, you can find it in any of your podcatcher apps, and it is available to everybody. Everybody gets, basically, it's Terry said Reddit, but it's BuzzFeed is what I think he meant to talk. It's a couple BuzzFeed quizzes, and the Patreon supporters get an exclusive third quiz, which is usually about an extra 15 or 20 minutes of content with our players. Tonight, I interviewed Tina Oakley. Tomorrow, I'm interviewing Sarah Lamberson. I've already reached out to Sexton, who said he was interested. He just has to schedule a time. Jeremy Coling says he wants to do it, but getting a hold of him is like herding cats. And Paul Macbeth was around when I was interviewing with Hannah, and he is very interested as well, but I think I might save Paul for a little bit later. There's no reason to get him on the show immediately. But like I said, you can go and search it for Smashbox Unsanctioned on any podcasting app. That is the only place you're going to currently find it. Unless you're a Patreon supporter, then of course you'll get it all through Patreon, including the extra time.
Awesome. Well, very cool. Yeah, I'm not even going to go with a coattails Coling Sexton commentary joke. All right. I got to give Coling a hard time after him traveling over to the island here last year, taking in all the action. Looked like a lot of fun, and I'm looking forward to taking it all in myself. So as I read the final few comments, Johnny, yep, you'd have to get probably your passport updated. Curbs the distance. Oh, no problem on hole 3. Come on now. Zach, Disc Baron, thank you again. Always supporting what we're doing out here. We appreciate it. Smashbox, the disc golf guy, all of the support you give, we really appreciate it. And I'll try and make all those 15-footers if I can today, one way or another.
I got faith. You
Terry
will.
Miller, the disc golf guy. Johnny, I'm going to sign out on my side. You carry the show, and looking forward to giving you guys an update. Next Wednesday or Tuesday might be a little more challenging for me to be on, but we'll find a way to make it happen after this event wraps up. So good night, everyone. Thank you. Keep checking my Instagram. Keep checking Facebook. I'm going to continue to flood all of that stuff over the next couple days. It'll all be out there, and then we'll work on that post-production coverage as well. So thanks for the love. Thanks for the support. Thanks for supporting both Smashbox and the Disc Golf Guy via Patreon. Have a good night, everyone, or a good day, whatever. See you guys.
Can we just have you on and you just practice putt in the background?
What's that?
Can we keep you on and just mute it and have you practice putt in the background?
I need a putter. A rubber putter. All right. I don't know if you're gonna be able to see it. I'm gonna get super close. We're international, so it's gonna look a lot closer than it really is, but it's gonna be at least a 40-footer. No. All right. Bye.
Actually, I need that putter.
Oh, I was gonna. Okay.
Just your rubber.
Dude just stood right in front.
Putter supplied by discgolflawyer.com.
All right. All right.
Thanks, Terry.
All right. Good night, everyone.
Oh, that guy like literally walked up and stood right there as Terry saw. So we didn't see Terry, but we saw the putt. It went in. He hit like a 12 or 14 footer, which is actually in America 50 feet. So it's the foot-to-foot conversion that not a lot of people know about. Very, very rare thing here, the Thailand to U.S. migration. Yeah, boo that man. So thanks, everybody. Thanks, Terry, for being able to jump on. I know he borrowed somebody's Wi-Fi thing when he was over in the hotspot, when he was over in Thailand, to make sure to be able to join us and do that interview and chat. So we got a couple little things here I want to take care of. We have some PDGA results that I'll kind of run through. Why don't we go to? I'm alone. They got nobody right here. My best friend is not here. Yes, Nigel's has Wi-Fi. So we're going to talk real quick some PDGA events. Let's start with Ingleside, Texas. The event is, now get this here, Bill and Ted's Awesome Disc Golf Adventures, presented BATA DGA Tour, Stop 1, Ingleside Red, driven by Innova Champion Discs. Now that might truly be the longest tournament name I have ever had to read. 25 open players. Tanner Gerard, I'm going to go with Gerard, wins this by 2 strokes, shooting 2 rounds that were 1049 and 1059. So some really solid play from the 994 rated Tanner. Second place, Emerson Keith. Third, GT Hancock. Fourth, Seth Talbot. And tied for 5th is Matthew Gongora and Mason Ford. We go to the open women. We got Valerie taking first, followed by her sister, Alexis, taking second, shooting, 949, only by 2 strokes. So Valerie shot a 946 and a 939. Alexis shot a 929 and a 939. So the second round they tied. What a great pair of sisters. They are going to be forced to be reckoned with. I'm really excited for that. So that was the Bill and Ted event. I'm not rattling through that entire name again. The other event we're going to talk about a couple more, actually, because I want to talk about those international events. Basket Case Disc Golf presents the Mohawk Park Open. In Open, Matt Bell, rated 1018, wins this event by 5 strokes, shooting a 1062 that's scorching, 1010 and a 1025. Number 2, Coda Hatfield. Now, anytime you beat Coda in Texas, Oklahoma, anything down there, you've shot very well. And Matt Bell is clearly one of our top pros. So beating Coda, not bad. Coda shot a 30 under, a 993, 1047, and a 1013. Third place, Zachariah Johnson, the newly minted Innova player, shot a 29. Richard Y, and then Bo Tillman in 5th. We're going to look at Open Women. Open Women winner was Tanya Windover. She shot a 22 over par. Second place, Emily Beach, who many of you know. We saw her at GBO last year. Hopefully we'll see her again this year. She shot a 24 over par, so she only lost by 2 strokes. So congratulations to Tana. Now, I know when Terry was talking to Nigel on the interview, they were talking about a couple international events, so I just want to touch on those. This is the Singapore Sling 2019 driven by Innova. There was no open player, so I'm just going to mention the advanced player, which was Leslie Anklevich. Leslie is an 866 rated player, winning the advanced field, shooting a 952 and a 974. So that is literally 100 points over his rating. So congratulations, Leslie. I would call you a sandbagger, but you're rated 866 and you won the advanced division. So very, very, very well done. And we'll move on to our final event of the day. This is Attack of the Chains. And this is the event over in Malaysia. There were 15 open players. Yane Salmi wins this, shooting a 7 under par. His round ratings were 902 and 967. It's not very often you see an open winner shoot a 902 round and still win. But congratulations, Yane. The other second place was Lance Dubos, D-U-B-O-S, Dubos. And then third place was Leslie Anklevich. Leslie, you're getting around there. You are an 866 rated player, but you shot a 928 and a 920. Congratulations. And you were the only one to accept your prize cash, so you won $67. Very, very, very happy. And in the intermediate, I would be remiss if I didn't mention Luke Turnbull. Congratulations, Luke, on winning that one-round event. So Luke is a big Smashy and a big fan of ours. So we are a big fan of his. I don't have a heck of a lot tonight, guys. There isn't a lot of PDGA news. We talked about the Disc Golf Pro Tour information. One of the things we did not talk about, and it was a little bit of news this week, was Corey Merle stepping out on his own, stepping away from CCDG mostly. I know he'll still be helping out here and there, and I think at Worlds and one or two other things. But he's going to be touring as his own entity now. He's going to be doing some sort of interview-style production. He's got a Patreon. He's got the PDGA. He'll be doing some of the, I believe, the nightly wrap-ups like we saw at Worlds this past year. I think he's going to be helping out with those. So Corey is going to be going out and branching out on his own. So we're going to see, hopefully, more content, similar to some of the Disc Golf Guy stuff with the stand-up interview, maybe a sit-down interview even. Heck, maybe he'll have a chair. Terry never had chairs for his interviews because he always did them after rounds. So congratulations to Corey. I wish him the best of luck. I'm excited to see some different content. I think it's one thing that we don't have enough of. I love the shot-by-shot, but I think we can use more, which is one of the reasons why you'll see me doing some of this new the new Disc Golf Unsanctioned, and you're going to see Corey doing this, and Terry's doing more blogs as well. We're seeing Paige Pierce and Tina Stenitis and, oh gosh, everybody. Paul Ulibarri. They're all doing their own vlogs. Eagle, Simon, those things. There's so much content out there right now if you're a disc golf fan. I can't even imagine. Disc Golf Guy says, why is my mic moving? I'm not even talking. Probably because I'm bumping the table, Terry. That's probably why it's moving. I have it muted, though, so no matter what I do, if I tap on it, you can't hear anything. I've got this table, and I keep bumping it. Do we have any other questions on the board? I don't necessarily know if we're going to do an after show. What we might do is we will give away a Patreon disc. Terry, hopefully, if you're still out there listening, you can let us know if you are going to be able to pull in a disc from the event or maybe something out of your personal stash from that wonderful, wonderful hoard. That's the word I used. Hoard of plastic that you have. Eric asks, is JVD jealous not going to Thailand? Yeah, I think I would be silly if I said I wasn't going to be, if I wasn't jealous. Of course I am. I was fortunate enough, like Terry mentioned in 2010, when he won a ticket to Japan, I just bought one. I said, you know what, that's fine. I had a think a 6-month-old at the time. No, 9 or 10-month-old at the time. And that was it. Well, now I've got a wife who wants to travel with me, 2 kids, and it's very difficult to get away, and a full-time job. So I would be lying if I didn't say I was jealous of being able to travel. I would like to get out and do a little bit more of that, but it kind of almost has to be work-related in order for me to do that. At least that's what I have to tell my wife. No one can bring home a monkey, Ace Run Productions. That is not an appropriate thing. You cannot smuggle that. Bringing home animals is probably like a federal crime, is my guess. I know people try to smuggle in exotic animals from other places, and I would not try that. Terry says he will be able to secure something from the event. So our Patreon giveaway tonight, we will secure something event. I'm going to go with our very first random draw. As we know, random is random. So if I do it 100 times or 1 time, it's all random. But this is Terry's first time in Thailand. So we are going to do the number 1. Let me bring that up for everybody here. And there is our list of users. We have 207 Patreon supporters. I want to thank each and every one of you. Please go out and listen to some of the extra content that I'm providing you through the new disc golf, the SmashBoxxTV Unsanctioned. So as you can see, we have 207 here. I'm going to hit the generate button 1 time. The first one is number 200, even on the dot. Scroll down and find out that it is actually Vinny Wagner. Congratulations, Vinny Wagner. You are our Patreon supporter winner tonight. We'll get you something hopefully from the event that Terry's at. Maybe it'll be the trophy that Terry wins in advanced. I don't know. But ultimately, it will be some sort of swag, and you will be set. We'll get that to you in a couple weeks when Terry gets back. He's in charge of all the shipping. I'm waiting on a whole bunch of stuff from Terry as far as numbers and things like that to figure out. We got taxes coming up. No one loves taxes. Let's read a couple more things on the board. Yeah, Vinny, you did not win a monkey. You're going to win a disc, I promise. Now, maybe that disc has a monkey stamp on it. I don't know. I doubt it. Cool One asks, Terry and Johnny, are you both playing the Tim Selinsky's Masters in Worcester? I didn't think he saw us registered. There's very few spots left. We will not be playing. There's a chance Terry is covering that event, but I'm not even 100% sure on that. I know a lot of that stuff is still to be determined, but I will not be playing in that particular event. I'll have to take a look. But there's something that Terry doesn't even know. I got an email earlier in the week from the Guts organization, and they are asking about live broadcasting. So we might be traveling up north for some Guts broadcasting. I need to talk to Terry about that and figure out his schedule and figure out my schedule and get them some information. So we might be doing some Guts broadcasting this year. I'll be really excited because it looks like it's a lot of fun. I'm just reading the board here. Yeah, if someone wants a monkey, they don't need to have a monkey from Thailand. You can get an American monkey somehow. They've got those cute little organ grinder monkeys you can buy and as a pet. Please treat them well. I'm not diehard PETA, but anyone that mistreats an animal, you're going to get it. What else do we have? Do we have anything else on the board for tonight? I don't want to drag this out too long. I know Discmania is talking about making a really big announcement right before the Vegas event. I think it's on the 14th. It's a Valentine's event, which would be in a little over a week. So we might have UC on in 2 weeks to talk about whatever this big thing is. I was skeptical. I'm not going to lie. I'm always a little skeptical. But when a disc manufacturer says, hey, we have this revolutionary thing, it's going to be great, best thing since sliced bread. And that's not necessarily what Discmania is saying, but they have a big surprise in there. They're pumping it up. So I reached out to a couple of contacts and I said, hey, is this legit? Is this really big, or is this more marketing? And people are getting back to me saying it's legit. So I'm really excited. I have no clue what it is. They are sworn to secrecy, and frankly, I'd rather be surprised. But I'm hearing that all the hype surrounding it is quote unquote legit. So we'll have UC on, cross our fingers, right before the Vegas event to talk about what they are, what their big announcement is going to be. There's been all sorts of speculation, such as they're finally molding their own discs in their new Colorado place. So we saw Simon and Eagle both open a box. It could be a disc. It seems that just a regular disc would be underwhelming to me. It'd be great for Discmania, but the actual announcement would be underwhelming. If that's not it, I gotta wonder what it is. Is it like a really crazy unique disc, a new style that we haven't seen? Maybe it has like a hole in it, or we're seeing some of those old Quest AT discs, like the putter that looked like a gear. I'm not sure. So Zach Paychick says he's heard rumors that it's them manufacturing their own discs. If that's honestly what it is, I will be a little disappointed. It's like I said, it's great for Discmania. It'll allow them more freedom. But just the fact that you're going to give me the same disc, but it's just manufactured at a different place, that's not revolutionary. That's not groundbreaking. That's really great for your company. But I don't know. I hope it's something bigger. I truly do. Isn't Discmania owned by Innova? No, Discmania is not owned by Innova. Technically, they are two separate companies, but they work very closely together. And Innova does, I believe, all the molding for Discmania right now. But they are technically two separate companies. Congratulations, Terry, on updating this week's thumbnail on YouTube. I really appreciate it. I was going to mention that to you, but you were running just on time for the podcast today. Special left-handed discs, quite possibly unique just for left-handers. Do we have anything else out on the board? I am reading. Terry Miller, the disc golf guy, says, correct, Innova does all the molding and Discmania is at the whim of Innova's production schedule, which provides challenges, he's sure. Correct. So if, like we saw in the end of the year, if Innova wanted to produce a crap ton of Macbeth destroyers at the end of the year, and Discmania says, no, we got our cloud breakers we want to get out, and Innova says, meh, sorry, our stuff's in the queue first, Discmania has to wait. So now if their own stamping, with their own molding machine, they will be able to do that. They'll be able to set their own schedule. I still think that they will probably, depending on how many molding machines they have, my guess is that probably one. They will probably still work with Innova to do some molding. I've always said I'd love to see a putter that's mostly round with maybe one kind of flat edge. So when you do miss that, as we all do, that 15 or 20 footer, it doesn't get up and roll. It gets up and rolls and hits that edge and just falls over. That's always been my big thing. I want to see a disc with just like one kind of flat edge. Not necessarily, take off 20 or 30% of the disc, but, shave off 5 to 8% of it to stop the roll. Or you just don't miss. But that's not happening for me. Ryan Pilcher says that's a Stego JVD. I don't know what a Stego is. Sorry. I'm sure they exist, but I've really keep I rarely keep up with most of the manufacturers. The Epic putter, kind of, the Epic, for those of you that are newer to the sport, well, it was previously a PDGA approved disc. I don't believe it is anymore, but the rim was different widths. So on one side, it would be relatively shallow, we'll say like a leopard almost, like that type of thinness. And then it would, on the other side of the disc, it would increase to even more than probably what our widest rim discs are right now. and it would do some really crazy things. You could bend it a little bit, and it would change the disc flight characteristics. A lot of people threw them overhand for maximum distance. You'd see these things barrel roll 2 times, end up on the correct side, and just float and hover. Rumor has it we've seen people throw these things 500-600 feet on overhands, which to me is kind of ridiculous. Oh, Nathan Lee says that the Epic is grandfathered, but they stopped producing them. I thought they were just not PDJ legal anymore, but I could be, obviously, and have been in the past wrong. Terry, thanks for joining us. He's heading back to his hotel because it's hot and humid. Go take yourself probably your 5th shower of the day, and we will probably get back to you next week, depending on when you fly in. We'll get something figured out. And without, I think, any further ado, we might make this a shorter podcast, only maybe an hour and a half. And unless I have anything exciting on the board that we can get to, I don't know. It's been a pretty quiet night. We got through all the PDGA news. We got through all the everything news. One last thing about the Pro Tour and Steve Dodge and everyone involved. Give them a chance. Everybody. I see a lot of people jumping, saying that they're going to be protesting, not watching. It's not Jomez. It's not big sexy commentary. This change sucked for a lot of people, media companies, us, this and that. But ultimately, it's opening up a lot of doors. It's giving new crews a chance, and we are going to see more disc golf because of this. So keep an open mind and at least give them a chance. Trust me, it's going to be very tough for me to not be overly critical of every single thing that happens. It's in my nature. B, kind of involves us and this and that. But I want everybody to at least take a breath and give them 2 events. Give them the Memorial, and then is Waco the second event? I think Waco is the second event. Because things are going to go wrong at the Memorial. If they don't, I would be surprised. They're going to have some issues. And they should be able to clean those up by the second event. So please just relax and let's see what is involved. Terry says he doesn't think that what was in Simon and Eagle's box for those videos is the return of the Disc Golf World Tour. But who knows? Maybe UC was able to package up the World Tour in a nice little box. That's it, everybody. That's all I got. I can't go on much longer. I think we lasted longer than the State of the Union, which was tonight, so we're all set. And this is, I'm going to bring up one more thing here. Oh, okay, perfect. So we are all set here. All right, everybody. This was podcast episode 233 with me, Johnny V, and Terry Miller, the disc golf guy. I want to thank Nigel for joining the show with Terry, doing the wonderful interview. I want to thank the guy in the blue shirt who blocked Terry's view when he was putting. And I want to thank, just in general, thank Dana. I cut him off kind of at the end of the night and said, no, thanks, buddy. We don't need you. We're going to make it a shorter show. But thanks a lot, Dana, for in general, for being everybody. Thanks to all the patrons who always support us. Without you guys, honestly, it would be a lot tougher to do what we do every week. Take a look at our Patreon. That's patreon.com/SmashBoxxTV. Look at all the different levels out there. We've got a $10 level out there where we're going to be doing shirts. You've got a few weeks yet if you want to sign up that you might get that first shirt depending on what your monthly limit is. I did say in the thing you need to be a patron for 3 months, but really that's just 3 Patreons. So if you're a $10 level and you give more than one a month, I can let it slide. So basically, if you can get that $30, if you can hit about that $30 level, I think we can get you a shirt. Otherwise, I don't know if this first shirt is going to be available to everybody or just patrons. I have to work with Tim and get some more information on that. So, Terry in Thailand, podcast episode 233. I'm Johnny V, and I'm going to sign out here and just say, I hope everybody has a better tomorrow. Good night.